amplify regenerative arts and culture, basically.
Exactly.
Give a platform to it. Going in, PR lives. Live to the whole world. Going in live.
1328, we activate regenerative consciousness. 1328, 13 moons and 28 days, yeah. 1328, we activate regenerative consciousness. 1328,
So we have the ability to be the media that we actually want to see, what we actually want to amplify or create in the world.
Bring forth those frequencies. Bring forward great minds and a lot of solutions.
As we really look at, how do we get where we are and where do we want to go from here? Where do we really see ourselves going? Yes. Welcome to PR1328 Live. My name is Mikuak, and Bilal, introduce yourself.
I am Bilal Samadhi.
Yes. How's it going, brother?
In the body.
How's it going?
Yeah, giving thanks. All is well. Enjoying the weather, the vibes, the energy. It's a lot of shifts going on right now. So a lot taking place. So I'm just appreciative to be in this space with I and I.
Yes, pleasure's mine, brother. Glad to have you here. We have a fantastic show today. As you said, the energy is high vibes, and we've been in this process. Now we're in Earth Month, as they call it, right? Where everybody's got to focus on amplifying earthworks, eco-consciousness, Earth Day, and all of those things. So we've been in that mix to a degree, really hoping and aiming to amplify regenerative arts and culture. That's one of the things we're really focused on. So I'm super excited for our guest today. We're going to come on. We'll introduce them in a little while. But everybody definitely want to tune into this today. We're so happy to have with us Phoenix Rising, who's doing some amazing work. Excited to get into what she's up to on the planet, and Brother Manifest Ra as well. So there's so much more to share about both of these incredible beings as we move forward. And just want to again thank everybody out there for tuning in to PR1328 Live right here on the Planet Restoration YouTube channel. Please go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel. Whatever you can do to stay connected with us, so we can stay connected with you. It's a real honor. Also check us out on IG. We're going to bring that up. Yeah, B, what's up?
Yeah, quick question. I know yesterday was supposedly a sacred day. And as we've been hearing, there's been a lot of code alignments having to do with yesterday as well, though. Just wondering what you did for the Resurrection Day, as they call Easter, which, what did it look like?
Yeah, thanks for asking, man. I mean, the vibe was one of absolute renewal. I just took some time and spent some time in nature, hanging out with my partner, enjoying the essence of the day. I mean, really, this whole season, the whole past several days feels like a crescendo. And yesterday was really, kind of a peak in many ways. But I feel like it's not like a peak that has a valley to follow. I feel like in this process, things just continue to, build, and emerge. So it's been a powerful personal time. I think there's a lot of inner works that I and I are engaging in, and a lot of things are also revealing many synchronicities. We like to work with the field of synchronicity ourselves. And so, in light of that, just paying attention to what shows up. Yesterday was significant on many levels. I mean, it was the 53rd anniversary of the assassination of Dr. King, for one, and that Resurrection Day aligned with the anniversary of his assassination was a profound alignment in many ways.
Statement.
It's a profound statement because 53 actually is equivalent. If you think of a cycle as a 52-year cycle, then that's a new cycle. That's like a brand new cycle of 52 years beginning. If the first 52 years from 68 to last year, was that 52-year cycle since his transition, we're now in a new level of that cycle of restoration, renewal, resurrection of the spirit of Dr. King on a level. So, I mean, that was in the ethers. A very special elder of mine transitioned in the year 2004 on March 31st, a Hawaiian elder named Mikuak, and we went to his homegoing ceremony on the Big Island on April 4th, 17 years ago. So that was also another overlay kind of marker happening, in the field of energy as we look at that. And what about yourself?
Yeah, I spent some time with my mom, just kind of doing some family planning, and a beautiful American tradition, African American tradition, dominoes. And I really see it as a really sacred game as well, because it's based on numbers. It's, the type of stone it is, all of this. Though she's a wizard with it, so it's always a privilege to play dominoes with my, play some dominoes with my Mama Angie, and also did some jamming with our sister Kia Yoon Star.
Big up.
And we're working on some music together for the Kepari Music Group, which is the label that I'm pulling together out here in the A. That we're pulling together as a team. So,
amazing!
Yeah, it was a great day. So good, thanks.
Man, more creativity. I think that's a great segue, actually, because for those who are just tuning in to what we're doing here, you'll come to find that we're very galactically oriented. I think that's putting it mildly. But when I say that, as you mentioned dominoes, and I think of dominoes, and you got these dots, right, that are numbers, values. Oops, it looks like I got a little overlapping footer. Shout out to the producer. Make sure we keep it clean. But speaking of the dominoes, they have the dots on them, and they're each a numeral value, like one dot equals a value of one, right? In the galactic notation of the Maya, when you look on their artifacts, on their temples and in the pyramids, it's the dot bar notation system. And that was introduced to me about 20 years ago. And it's something that's really been a guide in my life, actually, all these years. That's the reason why we call our show 1328, because it's based in these natural timing frequencies. So I want to go ahead, if maybe we want to get into a little bit of that and kind of share with folks the energy for the day of what's called the noospheric Earth time. I think that's something to kind of bring into play at the moment. Yeah, we'll check that out real quick. So let me see real quick, because I, per usual, getting these files together. But yeah, folks can check this out. And I know my screen is impeding a little bit of it, but we'll pop it up on the screen real quick. That way folks can see the signature for the day. This, again, is relative to what's called the 13-month, 28-day calendar, or the 13-moon calendar, or the synchronometer. It's known by different names, but it includes, you'll see, dot and bars for notation, a lot like the dominoes. And also, I invite people to read the code that they see on the screen. Read it to yourself, read it out loud, but by reading it, you're actually activating this particular frequency, this creative frequency. And we can talk a bit more about it. I think today it's very relevant for the day's energy, though. So here we can see it says, I harmonize in order to influence, modeling wisdom. I seal the process of free will with the galactic tone of integrity. I am guided by the power of intelligence. I am a galactic activation portal. Wisdom, truth, beauty, love, superabundance enter me. the idea is that whatever it is you want to amplify, we actually speak it into that space where it invites that essence to really be amplified, moreover. So with that today, and we call it, as you can see at the top, noospheric Earth time or natural Earth time. And today's galactic signature is Kin 112, yellow galactic human. And so also when we look at this, it's part of a larger cycle or process. So we can then observe what's called the wave spell of the signature. So in the wave spell, you'll see that 13-day sequence, and we're at the turn of that arm. We're in the 8th position, the yellow human today. Last show, we were starting the 1st position with the red magnetic serpent. So today we're on day 8. So this is one full 7-day period since the last show. And we're in day 8, which is the galactic human energy. And then furthermore, we can look at what's called the Tzolk'in calendar. Let me bring that up for folks to see. And it'll show you where in the 260-day cycle we currently find ourselves. And looking at this, you can see the area that's highlighted with the magenta color so that it stands out. And you see those green shaded days, those are called gap days. And what's interesting is during the 260-day cycle, there are 2 sequences where you go through 10 gap days in a row, twice in that cycle. And so we're in one right now. We're on day 6 of such a sequence right now. And so when you were asking the question about Easter and what I was doing, it's like it's a culmination of all this energy that's been building up. I mean, we just have come out of what's referred to as the moon of intention, the solar moon in the 13 moon calendar. Now, as of yesterday, we've entered the moon of manifestation, the planetary moon of manifestation. So we'll get more into that, have conversation about that with our guests a little bit as well, just to get some insights, because there are a lot of codes. There is a lot of light knowledge that's really, really connecting with people. People are raising their vibration up to even meet that and make that connection. It is absolutely magnetic. So in light of that, I'm just super excited for all that we have to share here. Yeah. I think you're muted.
Okay, yeah. I'm over here alerting the Instagram family what's going down.
Yeah.
So, bless the love.
Come on in. Peace to the IG. Massive.
Peace, Raquel. Everyone. Yes. Yo, Hakeem family.
What?
That's what's up, though.
Bless up. Yeah, so, that's the vibe. It's the galactic human. And the galactic tone is interesting. Like I said, we are inclined to things of a galactic nature. But it's interesting because in the world, and sort of the default world, when people talk about the galaxy or galactic anything, they're, it's not something we naturally think about, although we exist in this planet inside of a galaxy, as part of a galaxy. And I kind of look at a galaxy as a community. We're not alone out here, and it's been long known. And people get, little impressions in their own ways. Some people have even more direct communication. This happens. We have elders we know who are connected in those kinds of ways. Even ourselves have our own sort of what people may even consider paranormal experiences. But what has been paranormal is becoming more and more normal, because that veil is becoming more and more thin, which is a good thing.
Exactly.
And Lord knows the earth could use a lift right now. So that's, in the interest of this event, planet restoration, and holding a space for this kind of energy and information, that's our intention, is to help be part of the shift and help uplift this planet at a time when we need to do that.
I did have a few questions.
Yeah, man.
On what you just shared. Is it possible I can show them while that's up at the same time?
You want to just Okay. While we're live or what?
Oh, did you have the screen with the screen up? Would you be able to hear me? That you just showed of the day.
I won't be able to hear you with the screen up. No, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
But feel free to ask your question if you want to.
Okay. I have the tone here, so.
Okay.
So yeah, my question was just basically, okay, we're in the wave spell of the red serpent. So
exactly.
What happened to the light here? It's weird. Okay.
So enlightening.
Enlightening. Okay, what the wave spell? Okay, which has to do with life force, survival, and instinct.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. So, so where we are as the blue resonant monkey in the red serpent spell is, I guess I'm just trying to see how that relates, or where we are in that flow.
Right. So today we're in the galactic human, but I think to better understand sort of the significances of these markers, it is like learning a new language. So we obviously don't have the time space to really expose the whole language now. But when
Yeah,
people
of
look
course, of
when
course.
people look at the signatures, I'll bring it back really quick just to help illustrate it for folks. Let me find the slide here. I'll pull you off
Maybe I
screen.
just wasn't paying enough attention.
No, it's good. It's good. It's fine. I just wanted to bring it up just real quick because the question is relevant. Obviously, I'm sure if you have the question, many people do. Um, the idea, though, is that these are tones and tribes. When people see the dots and the bars, those indicate a number, okay? And then you have 1 to 13. Right here, you have 13 little tribes that make up this wave spell. A wave spell is defined really as any count of 13, according to this particular cosmology. It also reflects the animation or the motion or the function of the galaxy when we actually zoom out, and they're called spiral density waves of the galaxy. So when we see those amazing illustrations or photographs of a galaxy, even the composites, they're usually shown with spiral formations. So the idea is that this spiral here is a reflection of that according to a particular timing frequency. And so in terms of the sequence for the red serpent sort of sets a tone for the 13 days to follow, which, as you said, is survival and instinct. And so actually
Mm-hmm.
rooting that is sort of the magnetic sort of thrust. It's like observing the life force of the Kundalini. What impact can that have as we direct that particular energy consciously over a 13-day cycle, for example? And it culminates
Beautiful.
in what's called the red cosmic earth. So it's not just where you begin, it's also what it culminates in, what the fulfillment is. So actually this 13 days that we're now in day 8 of has been a process of cultivating the life force for the purpose of essentially helping the earth transcend and take magic flight, if you will. So when we're actually talking about
Beautiful.
helping the earth vibrate higher, by making these codes conscious, that's actually through our sensitivity and consciousness, we actually help support that process invariably through whatever method we're taking, because everything matters, right? So whatever action I'm
Exactly.
taking, however big or small, can contribute to and benefit this process that Earth is undergoing. And there's so many light workers, there's so many cosmically considerate people, who are on the planet now at this time actually supporting this. And it may seem to the mainstream default world as like strange or unusual or something they've never been introduced to before. But that's the nature
Exactly.
of evolution and consciousness as well. There's a lot that we just don't know,
Exactly.
and there's a lot we're learning along the way.
Exactly. And just leveling up through the awareness of this indigenous knowledge.
Exactly.
Is
And
is
it's
that best way?
important it's important to state that it is indigenous. And I love that word because it's also sort of, if you look at if you play with the word, right? Language can be magic, but in the genes of us, it's indigenous.
Mm,
It's in our genes. It's connected in consciousness. And because so much light, so much photonic energy, like our elders speak about, is hitting the planet right now, people are being enlightened and awakened in a flash. Like they're having, these catalyzations are happening more and more for folks. And so it's in our genetics that are actually now being put online at the next phase of our collective
exactly.
evolution. That's kind of what we're
Which
talking
also
about here.
made me think of, just real quick, the fact that the youth are using the slang now, wave.
Wave.
I'm on the wave, right? So when I hear wave spell, they were on that long time ago. The spell, the wave spell.
Right.
So it's
Yeah,
just interesting to see how these things tie in.
exactly. And just the mere fact that time is art, and that we really recognize that that actually represents our creative potential as each human, as opposed to time as money, which is more like this idea of how you can be leveraged for your creative abilities. There's a major shift in consciousness, but the fact that the youth are already tuned in, these young people are coming from the future. They're not from the same soul content as has led us up to now. I mean, some may appear to be old souls, but that's also because the future is very advanced. And, the ability with technology even, or realizing our technology, that's kind of like it's understood. It's already a given for a lot of these young people.
We're coming in all shapes and forms right now.
It's a fact. Well, I tell you what, we want to get to our guest here momentarily, but what I want to do now is, in prepping for them, we're going to set a sound vibration here. I want to let people know Bilal Samadhi is a phenomenal musical artist and producer, and I had the pleasure of working together with him on a project around the Great Conjunction that we call Serious Codes, and that took place back in December 21st last year, and many people will have tuned into the Great Conjunction. And we were guided to work on a music EP that was basically taking these mathematical codes and reducing them down to the sound vibration or the musical note that they represent. And then from that sequence and that intentional process, we discovered essentially a creative, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, just an abundance of creative potential, and it came through the music. So I'm excited to share that vibe with folks right now as we prepare for our guests. And thank you again for tuning in.
Felt like some Indiana Jones decoding. So
it was on some
this
next.
is the result.
It was on some next. Yeah, we give thanks. And thanks for tuning in to PR1328. Peace and love.
I see the planets, they aligning in the sky and cosmos. Feel the vibes of the spine. If you're mine, love will shine. Baby, won't you come close? And we roll in my arms with your cosmic natural charms. And you miss you, I love you the most. Yeah, you put up and Pluto does it better. Sky is traveling on a solar on a high road. Look alive, I can see the vision in the eye. It's great. You and me together, love alive. This great conjunction. We've arrived. You can do the numbers, they don't lie. This great conjunction. On a vibe, we can see the planets in the sky. This great.
You see, the Dogon people say that when Jupiter aligns with Saturn, the configuration will be that the furthest away planet, Pluto, will serve as a stargate. And then through the stargate, many beings and our mother and all the rest of it will come through. So now let us continue on our discourse. You see, the blue horn goddess coming through Pluto, the stargate. Can you see? This is what is happening right now. The start is this way.
Wow. Okay. Vibing live. Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome. I know it's a little bit of an abrupt deposit into the next section, but I want to welcome both of our special guests today. Thank you so much for being here. I want to give a shout out to our producer, Esta, for introducing us to our guests as well. Wonderful to see you both. I'm going to make sure we put up lower thirds and the whole thing, but I want to welcome you, Phoenix Rising. It's a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you so much. I didn't realize I was going into the music portal like that.
I know. Wow. Amazing. And Manifest Ra, good to see you out there, brother.
Hey, greetings, Mikuak and Phoenix Rising. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm ready to levitate and regenerate.
Levitate, regenerate. Wow. All right. I didn't say nothing but a thing, man. So Thank you. I would just love to allow you to land into this space of the conversation. Obviously, that was pretty full on, but you get some reflections on the sound vibration, how that was moving you, what you were feeling, anything coming through.
Well, first of all, that was awesome. You know, everything started with sound. Right. Everything in the universe started with sound. The somatics, how our cells are arranged, how everything in nature is arranged by sound. And so and me also being a musician, my music name is Nai Moses. I had a top 10 Billboard hit in 2008. And so I'm a musician. I've been a musician my whole life. So music is so special to me. It is the sound, it is the channeling, and it's pretty hysterical because here I am out there doing all the things and doing past life regression, shamanic work, releasing DMT naturally in people's first eye, as I call it, not the third, but the first spiritual eye, doing, because that's the first, eye that is evident on planet that is in the womb. It's right there. The soul is held right there. This is 2 and 3. So I'm on there I'm doing an Instagram live the other day, and somebody pops up and says, "Hey, Nai Moses, this is really awesome and sweet, but when are you going to make music again?" I was like, really? I was like, okay, I'm getting there. I'm getting back to it. But when it comes, it's going to be, all of that stuff. So I didn't realize that today I was going to be like, as soon as it hit, I was like, just amazing. And then, all of the things that you're speaking about, it is so, I was listening in on that beginning, and the fact that it's so true. So many of us don't consider ourselves the galactic beings, and yet the galactics actually seeded our planet. I channel the Lyran Council. I have had actual direct contact, in-person contact and activations that showed me the entire history of what happened on planet and how I was involved. It started many channelings and activations for me, and really understanding and bringing the information that we are seated beings, like inside us. We have this, all of the things from all of the stars, because we're an actually seated being, the human beings. And so they took me way back to the beginning of time, through the root races, where we are now, I think we are in the third root race. There are 5, but the 2 before that started way back in Lemuria. We were out of body. We actually didn't have bodies. And there was basically a galactic meeting that came together and said, we're going to embody this. We're going to give it a biology. And so they took me back all the way to then, and that was the human seeding. I mean, it's such a beautiful story. All of it is really beginning to come out now in the most beautiful way, because it needs to. And, when you touched on the whole, where we are now and the grounding in the earth, I really feel what we're going through right now in humanity it's a fight for our lives. Like, we really are. So many people are in fear because they're going to die, and they haven't overcome the fear of death. So the grounding is so important for people to want to go back. Okay, what's that? Go back. And it's like they don't even know why. Many aren't conscious. Many of us are conscious, but the ones who aren't conscious are like, I need to get back to something. It's because we've been off our ground because of all of the stuff that's been happening. And so we're trying very desperately to get back into the womb. Like, what is that? So it makes sense with what you were saying, the part of the month that we're in, that this is that earth part, because we right now need to be grounded. We need to remember, not just that it's nice to say, oh, we're connected to the earth. We actually are the earth. Because when we drop our body, we go into the earth. We're the soil. We are the men and women of the earth. We are the soil. And every time we are the ancestors. Every time we come back, we are literally building Gaia. We're building Mother Earth. This is who we are. And it's why we are to remember right now that we don't need to have outside information that is co-opted to tell us that we need anything other than the intelligent technology of the mother. Because if we just stop and listen to it, it's all there. It's all there. So, I mean, I could go on, but there are many. Oh my God, it's such a rich conversation.
Wow.
Yes.
I mean, many things you're saying obviously are evoking in me much. There's so much happening, and it's all happening very quickly, I have to say. So it's 333. Let's just give a moment for that and the gratitude for that. As we're navigating these numbers, as we're talking about, these numbers contain code and information. It's interesting because, as Bilal brought up earlier, like this is being Resurrection Day, right? And it's been like that whole sequence of events. And as you're sharing, it's like, there is a part of us we have to relinquish or surrender to, the part that we think we are, that we're not actually that. Can we let that go to step into or embrace who we are as starseed, as the promise of the ancestors, as all the things in between? There's such a range of things. So I just appreciate what you're sharing. Wow.
Well, it's so funny, and I don't need to manifest. I don't want you to come in here, but I just wanted to say it's so funny. At 333, I actually had, it was about a month ago, a channeling, Ascended Master channeling. And I said, how can I be of the greatest service? I asked, I went in because, yes, I'm doing these things, I'm doing all of this, but right now I'm moving warp speed into, what timeline are we going? Is it 3D? We're going to get that ascension? Yes, we're already there. However, we still have to do the work to get there. It's not just, hey, we're just ascending into the 5D. No, we have to work. And we have to remember, like you were saying, we need to have that remembrance. So I said, how can I be of greatest service right now? So went to sleep, had that early morning twilight, and in they came and said, gather 333 right now. Gather them. Create and bring those pieces that you've learned. I've been in mystery school for years. I've been in the teachings, the shamanic teachings for 25 years, all of this stuff, but just for fun. I was like not trying to do, I'm doing my music, I'm doing my stuff, until I didn't become a match, for that, as you know. And they said, put together. So I put together a course right now called the Sacred Soul Cleanse, which is bringing 333 divine light warriors together to heal the heart and soul of humanity.
Yes. Thank you.
And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. It's profound. It's absolutely profound. People are just, yes, they're showing up. They're being there. It's like they are there because they know it's now. It's not next week, or it's now. We need to do these things now.
That's beautiful. So it's a fractal, really, of humanity, essentially. And, as you're guiding this group, it's like it's going to obviously then catalyze a greater restoration or healing among the ripples and waves are going to reach large proportions. That's very important work. And thank you so much for heeding the call and asking the question.
Yeah. You know what? You're so right about that. Many of us, we forget to actually ask the question. I have been, as much as I've been in trainings, and so I forget to ask the question. And I'm like,
Yeah.
ask that question. As much as I've had contact, all of that stuff, we forget to ask the question because we're still not quite sure we have all the power. You know what I mean? Because it's so amazing. Talk about manifest raw. I love your name. The manifest. It's like we can manifest everything like that. Like literally, and as the veils are thinning, like you were talking before, we have the opportunity now where we didn't have it 5 years ago, 10 years ago, even 2 years. Right now, there's an opening.
Yeah.
All of those golden rays are coming into planet, and it's like people are going, time, you see what's happening with the time, the Schumann resonance, boom, boom, boom. It's like, check that out. Like time's collapsing. It's going away. So we only have the option of living in the now to survive it, so to speak.
Exactly. So to that point, I want to bring manifest in the conversation because you even mentioned like the 5D, the 5D scope. When people hear the 5D, it kind of may trigger some things for some people because it is such a different vibration, right? But I wonder, manifest in your work, I know that you also work with energy, right? You work with Tai Chi and Qi Gong, you do your energy work. Speak a little bit and kind of help break it down for folks. When we talk about the 5D, how does that relate to us in our human experience right now? So that people can actually say, oh, now I get it, as opposed to it being something that doesn't relate to them.
Great question. When we think back to our childhood, for those of us that are probably around our age, we remember going to the movie theater and putting on those 3D glasses. And we thought that was the big to do, like, wow, I can see different colors and things I wasn't able to see. So it was an expansion to an extent of our awareness. However, it was aligned more with that level of maturity at that particular time. And we've all had those experiences where we had premonitions, what's considered deja vu, instant levels of healing, all those kinds of things. And we chalk that up, as you said earlier, as paranormal. Well, when you look at indigenous cultures, what's considered paranormal has always been normal. What's considered supernatural has always been natural. So we've gotten away from, as a human family, so much that is earth-based, that is galactic-oriented, that aligns with the solar, the energy of the sun and the moon, it's kind of hard for some people to comprehend, to remember, as we said, that part of themselves. That's not to say that they're not affected by it, because of course, when the lunar cycle is taking place, if folks are out of tune with that, they might become lunatic oriented, so it's not that they're not
the bird agrees.
Affected by it. So, what I'm finding, particularly as I teach these energy work classes and workshops, presentations, and do energy work with people one-on-one, that the answers are already within people. They start to, if we try to have a conversation, words can get in the way. And I'm a speaker. I'm a transformational speaker. So I've been gifted with the ability to project my throat chakra. But I also understand that that's not the real conversation. The real conversation is simply the sharing of one's energy and one's energy field with the energy field of others, because it's all one energy. And so when I do that, people naturally start to ask questions relative to 5D, like manifest, when you had me doing that exercise, I was able to actually have an epiphany by actually bringing energy up to the first eye, as Phoenix Rising was talking about, and expanding it out. I was able to see more for the rest of that particular day. And so I think we have to make it plain, simplify it, so that it doesn't become too woo-woo, if you will, out there. No, it's right here. And so we are the microcosm of the macrocosm. So what I affirm all the time, as well as what I share with others, is that everything that exists in the multiverse exists within us. And so, and then when we talk about the trillions of cells in the body, 20 to 70 trillion cells in the body. So we have our own cellular network. So people started to get it from that point of view. Like, okay, hey, did you know that the cell phone was actually based off of the cellular network within your own being, if you will? That's the real cellular network, as Phoenix Rising was speaking of earlier, is that we don't really have to go outside of this, you know what I mean, to really align with and activate and elevate those energies that are already within us. Now, what we're using in terms of technology can amplify, can multiply, can assist with that, but it should never impede and get in the way of our own ascension process. So, so I just try to keep it simple with people that we are multidimensional beings. That there's a part of us that is past, present, and future. We have 20 to 70 trillion cells that all listen. They have an antenna that listens to every thought, every emotion. Water. So as a man or woman thinketh in their heart, he or she, that is how they show up. And so once they begin to understand that, you know, when they have deviations from that state of being, that level of alignment, that's when disease, sicknesses, and things come in play. So I think we're a lot closer to helping people understand that because of the awakening that's already happening. And even if they don't understand that intellectually, they understand, they understand it intrinsically.
Yeah, thank you. That's a beautiful explanation. I want to go ahead and bring Bilal in. We can have this conversation together. He's on deck. Yeah, that was a wonderful explanation. Bilal, go ahead and I know you backstage listening. They're talking about things you absolutely love.
Yeah, I'm just soaking it all up. I love it. I love it all.
Yeah, the bird apparently loves it too. Manifest over there. That's a part of it,
and
showing up.
Kind of tying all of that in, like you were just saying about words and tones, and it's like that's one of the things I love about playing the flute, because I play the flute. I've been playing the flute for some years now, like maybe at least 15 years or so. Though I love wind instruments because it engages you in the breath and the emotions at the same time. And I noticed that it's a language that's beyond words, like you just said, Rob on,
Yeah.
So
you know what's so amazing about that? There's the flute, and if you're speaking wood, even in another the material of it is actually the perfect union of mother father, because when you blow through it, you're blowing spirit, the father, and it's uniting with the wood, which is the earth, and it brings them into as one, and it's just it's you're blowing spirit through the mother.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would even say that's what we call sound advice.
I love you. You're awesome.
Sound healing is
You're
really
awesome.
sound advice.
Yeah.
So
there we go.
Fact. So when the idea of channelers is not a new thing, but it seems to be something people are more and more increasingly aware of. And you mentioned that you have been in communication with the Lyran Council. Can you just give us a little peek into perhaps like an insight they may have shared with you or may share with you concerning this experience we're in right now, like in how we make this transition?
They just came and dragged me out of bed and said, I was like, what is happening? Oh my gosh. They literally, she put her finger right here at the first eye entrance of the spiritual eye, and showed me what was happening then is happening now. The Orion Wars. Like I saw, it was kind of like literally out of like oh man, what's one of those movies? Not like Terminator, but out of like Transformers, where like the big, trucks but we're just wiping out places and people are running and so much pain. Like I was in the scene itself. I wasn't observing it. I was actually, maybe I was observing it, but I felt every moment of it. And the point is, literally, they were saying to help people remember what shouldn't happen again. I mean, listen, it happened in Atlantis. We had our fall. This is pre-Atlantis. When we had our fall during Atlantis, we lost the vision. The pineal gland hardened. Our DNA strands went down to these 2 helixes. That's not what it's supposed to be. That's not what it was. We had access, like Manifest, you were talking about, you put on the 3D glasses and we have these things, and as kids we're told, yeah, it's just, but you have those memories that you think are fantasy, dragons and fairies and all that stuff, and angels, but they're actually memories that we have inside us because they're there because we walked with them. And when we had our fall, they went into other dimensions because they were higher and we dropped as humans. Then we went to all the different places that we were going to go. We went to India, we went to Egypt, we went to the Hopis, went to their lands, like all these sacred places, that they say, how could these primitive people know how to do that? Well, they weren't primitive at all. Right. They had all the information, they had the knowledge. And so that's how it showed up. And so my contact with, very specifically, and they show themselves to me, the Lyrans are the lion head and the man body. They're the oldest, most benevolent, and they went through the wars. And they actually lost their home. And it's not just for Earth to ascend. We have to ascend. They're depending on us because our ascension is their ascension. And if we don't, like, guys, and what you were saying earlier, when you guys were there was something to a point that I wanted to remember, that it's not that we need to be at a certain place in our ascension before they can connect. We have to be at a certain level before they can reach us. And that's the biggest thing that I took away, because to meet them, I couldn't just be like, oh man, I'm waiting for them to come, let's go, or watch it. No, it wasn't like that. It was like, they need to meet me halfway. I have to come to a certain level for them to come here, and then there's the interface, and then we go. So we are literally creating the interface, and that's what's happening. And they're like, create that interface. So that's truly the message: create the interface, because our ascension is we need you, basically. Like, wake the hell up,
Facts. Wow. Yeah.
We are not alone.
No,
we never have been. No,
never have been. This is powerful.
I feel like we're different modules of technology that functions together, and all of the key ones and ones. We're bringing pieces of that module to function and activate. And like, something that I like that you all said is that this information is coming from within right now. Like,
yeah.
And it's within the DNA. Both of you all said that. Like, you're seeing it coming from within. Though, so what I'm saying is, each of us bringing our pieces, it's beautiful to see once this module is activated, then to see that part of the vortex open to meet that other side, like you just said. So I love that.
Yeah, exactly. That without Manifest, you were talking about that earlier too. There's something that came to me the other day that was quite fascinating. Is I'm very big into the medicinal mushrooms. I'm sure you are. Cordyceps, Reiki, reishi, lion's mane, all of those. Amazing, because this is what helps to open the pineal gland. big time, and heal it and get all the toxins off so that the water, the crystals are vibrating so we can release that DMT, like all of that stuff. And I started, you know how the mycelium community is really laced throughout the whole earth, Mother Earth. This is what laces together everything. She is literally holding the trees, the grasses, everything together is this mushroom network. We don't see it. What we see are the spores that come up, but what we don't see is what's underneath. And I was like, wow, that's our fascia. That's like the fascia of the earth, but that's like our fascia. It's like we're imitating, once again, what she shows us out there. It's like in us. And the other day I was like, wow, that's really deep. I was like, okay, it's our fascia. Yeah, it's her fascia.
Yes. Yeah. Wow. So we need some planetary rolfing, apparently, because
I love it. Right, exactly. That's what's that. Right.
Like we're gonna free up the fascia. Like that's true. Wow, it's interesting. It reminds me of an elder that Bilal and I know from Atlanta back, maybe even 15, almost 20 years ago, Harper. I don't know, B, if you remember Harper, the artist.
Of course.
Really divine, holy man who was obviously, he was deeply connected, but he spoke about Atlanta in particular and talking about the living fungi, this one huge body that's one intelligent being is the largest intelligent being on the planet because it's all interconnected. That mycelium network is like one network. So he would speak about that, and it's interesting you would bring that up as a real reflection of where we find ourselves now. This information has been seeded all along, and it's becoming more and more prominent in the collective now. In the seeding process.
It's like another type of technology.
Exactly.
Total technology. Yeah. Total information technology. And she's like, yeah, we'll just throw some fascia in there. But it's like, same thing. It's just amazing. Yeah.
And Manifest, I wanted to ask you in terms of, we've talked a little bit about some of the techniques that are just very simple for people to do in ways that they can actually deepen their connection. And one such thing is earthing, right? So I wanted to ask you maybe to go into a little bit of what that is and just explain for people, your practice with that and how that's been of benefit to you.
Absolutely. Well, there's no way we can tiptoe around this. Pun intended. And we must put our best foot forward right about now.
Oh, here we go.
But, I tell you, up until modern times, it was natural for people to walk around connected to the earth. I remember my mom. She comes from a large family, 9 other siblings. It was 10 of them in Tallahassee, Florida, the Seminoles. And so she said, hey, we used to walk around barefoot all the time. It was, we go grab something off the tree and a berry or some gooseberries and eat them and things of that nature. So they very rarely wore shoes, obviously, when they went to school and things of that nature. So there's something transformative about connecting with the earth. At the soles of the feet, we have what's called a bubbling spring point in Qigong, Chinese medicine, that connects us directly to the earth's vibration, the earth's energy field. And so there's even postures where we stand with the knees slightly bent, connecting, sending energy and gathering energy from that particular point at the soles of the feet, where we can resonate with the earth's energy field. And so those are just some basics there. But I would just say, take your shoes off. Whenever there's a nice day, make sure that you allocate 30 minutes, at least 30 minutes, to just connecting with the earth barefoot, if you will. And science has shown, they just found this out recently. We've always known this as indigenous and ancient timeless people, but recent science has shown that this practice boosts circulation and also boost immunity, will help people feel a stronger connection and a sense of grounding and rooting, if you will, which also brings a level of calm and peace of mind. So it's a very transformative practice. The more you do it, the better it gets. And you also develop a sense of connection that is already there. I wouldn't even say a sense of connection, a deeper sense of connection with the earth. And so as I'm out right now, listening to the birds, looking at the trees, looking at the green of the earth, there's nothing like this, if you will. And I really want to encourage people to get out, put their feet on the ground, touch down, and connect with the earth. That's a very simple practice. I would also, something as simple as being mindful. There's a mindfulness meditation, Qigong style, where you actually pick a tree or a flower meditation, and just become one with the tree or one with the flower, if you will. And so you just stay there and communicate as long as you want with the tree and with the flower. And what that does is that when you actually do maybe a heart exercise prior to that to calm but open the heart, you actually experience a blossoming and a flowering within oneself. So these kinds of practices seem simple, but they're very transformative, because as we know, one person can walk into a room and they change the energy of the room because of their energy field. We've all experienced that one person walking in. We've also experienced that Debbie Downer who walks in where we like, what's the quickest way out of here? You know, and we're trying to climb through a window or what have you. So, you know, how are we showing up? These very simple practices of actually going out, having a conversation, doesn't have to be verbal, non-verbal, if you will, just your energy with the tree, with the flowers, with the earth. All of those actually continue our ascension process. And then when we carry that energy into our family members, our mates, our communities, you know, people want to know what's working for you. And that's when, so it's a natural conversation piece that they become receptive to.
Facts.
Nice.
I just want to put it out there for everybody on the call. What are some other tools that are simple enough for people to begin to use or to continue to use if they're already doing it, and just to encourage that kind of practice, whatever it may be?
Yeah, I'll definitely chime in. Manifest, I just wanted to say, you know, as the birds were chirping and everything, all of a sudden it was like, cue the airplane, like the loud plane, you know what I mean? I was like, wait a minute, here we are, we're doing our thing. But I was reminded that when you ground, when you take your feet off, if you're trying to beat jet lag, like if you just stand on the ground, I think it's for a half hour, like you said, it can completely reverse jet lag. Like, boom, that's it. Like, you're done. Like, no more. Wow. Like, you're in the time zone, boom, which makes sense because it's like, okay, I'm here, I'm grounded. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
But I think right now, for me, that I use and I can maybe recommend is embracing fear. Because right now, so many people have so much fear, because really, fear is the doorway to love, because it's the mirror to show us, to help us grow, to help us be grown up. Like I 2020, right? And then 2021, when you're 21 years old, I call this the year of the full grown up. You know, it's not 18, 19, 20, it's 21. Like, this is the year we grow up. That's it. We're done with all the stuff. Like, this is the year. And all of humanity at once is waking up, going through the dark night of the soul, and we're having to look at the things that we don't want to. A lot of the fear, trying to, overcoming whatever that fear is, the anger, the resentment about things that we can't do, whatever it is to actually see the fear and go, you know what? I know what you are. It's all good. Come on. Let's do it. And when you look at it and go, okay, what is that showing me? What is it trying to teach me? Oh, to overcome, to grow up, to move into love, move into compassion. So every time that fear comes up, no matter what it is, it's just like, what is it trying to show me? And what do I have to do? What do I have to implement to make another reality?
Right. The action is so critical, right?
Yeah.
Contemplation is one thing, but then taking action like really builds that momentum and makes it real. That's
exactly.
Right.
What do I do to make myself feel better? What do I have to pull from? I think we talked about it before. It's like, what can you pull from? What love memory? What fun memory? What was that even if all the players around it are gone, you still had that feeling. And then you take that feeling and you go, I remember that feeling. You place it in your heart and go, okay, I can remember the feeling. And then you become that vibration and manifest, like you were saying. Then you don't become the Debbie Downer that walks in the room, but you know what I mean? You're like, oh, wow. We were like, well, what are they doing? What's he doing? What's she doing? I want that. I need that. What is that? And then, you know, people come to you and, you know, you just remind them of the opposite of fear, how they can actually move from it. Yeah.
Yeah, what you're saying reminds me of a really dynamic tool that you're probably aware of, and many others are becoming aware of, the gene keys, as a method to actually do as you're saying, which is to help you do that shadow work or embrace the fear, because that's a lot of what that work is about, is understanding sort of those shadow aspects of ourselves, our blind spots, right? Okay. But that everybody has them according to their birth date, their astrology, sort of how the arrangement was happening at their moment of first breath and how that imprinted in their DNA and all the factors. But it just reminds me of a really beautiful methodology to accompany a person's embrace of their fear. It just gives them a guideline in a way as well that I found to be really beneficial. And I know our producer, Ishel, is really, really big on that. In fact, she's a guide in that science. So
awesome.
We're going to look forward to some future episodes to share more about that. But that's a really important recommendation you've made in terms of embracing the fear.
Then I'll go in and read the book. I have the book, but I haven't read it. I did the first one, the Human Design. But, you know, the second, but I haven't. And I have the book, so I'm going to now open it.
And just out of curiosity, what is your Human Design? Do you know yours?
Yes, I'm a projector.
A projector. Okay, so you're waiting for everybody else to get it.
I'm waiting. Yes, exactly. Waiting for the invitation. Apparently.
Yeah, everybody.
Exactly. That's what I do.
I don't know, I don't know, Manifest, if you're familiar with your Human Design, or B. You guys know what yours is?
I'm familiar with the topic, but I haven't really looked into it. You know, projector does kind of resonate with me to some extent.
Okay.
But yeah.
Are you a manifestor?
You might be a manifester.
I think. What are you? Are you a manifesting?
I'm a reflector, actually.
You're a reflector.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm a manifester.
B is a manifester. Yeah. Our producer just confirmed. Is he a manifester? Say. Oh, B, you're a generator, actually.
Oh, I'm a generator.
Generator.
Okay.
No, but it's a really remarkable thing. And you were speaking about the root races. I know our show is going a little over time. What's time? It's a construct. We're in the flow. So all that said, unless anybody has to go, I want to honor everybody's commitments. We can wrap this momentarily. But just something you said. Wow, it's going to come back to me. It just left that soon. That's all right. It's all right. It'll return. It'll return if it's meant to. It was really good, I promise.
Well, there was something that I wanted to mention that came through. As was it Ra Born or Ra Manifest?
Manifest Ra.
Manifest Ra. Okay, there we go. As you were talking, I was getting a vision of, or a download of, like the Power Rangers or like Voltron.
That's
like Power Ranger. Okay, so when they get into this vehicle, they become this animal spirit, and they take on this power, you know? So what it made me think of is that stance in the earth, in the soil, allows you to take on the vehicle of Mother Earth, you know, because of all the planetary bodies, being that we're bonded to this planet, you know, we have that in our arsenal. We have that vehicle to connect to and power up, you know. And also another thought that was coming, just as far as a simple tip, because I was researching for my book, Champs, Chi, Art, Health, Meditation, Prayer, Satsang, it's coming soon, about Chi. And it was breaking down how, you know, you can Chi up even sitting down. So with Chi, one of the main things is it's you're directing your attention, you know, and your breath as well. So even if it's just like so it's like as you build up that chi, from what I learned from my Tai Chi teacher, Baba Vita, once you're done building up that chi, he says, you know, you usually walk in circles on the soil, and it helps to store that chi as well in the solar plexus. So you kind of, you know, put that energy in the solar plexus while walking barefoot on the earth, storing that chi. So yeah, all of that came, you know, I don't know.
That's powerful. That's beautiful. So one of the things we're really looking forward to with this broadcast is it's leading up to a celebration on Earth Day, where we're sort of bridging the sort of environmental activism approach with what I'm just calling, I guess, this new Earth architecting, like, you know, with this energetic work that we're all sharing information about, and how that can help us make this transition and be a part of the Earth's support system in this process. Just a vibrating higher. And like you said, Phoenix, helping the Earth, helping us meet our support by each of us vibrating higher. And it sounds to me what you're sharing, B, and manifesting everybody really is relating to how we can activate our interdimensional selves, our fifth dimensional selves, our energetic field, our energetic body. That's what I'm really hearing here. And I hope people are taking that away in this conversation, because as we are collecting this energy, and as you say, finding ways to store it and channel it appropriately, it's a major work that we're called to do. And so we're using Earth Day as one such marker, because we've received some insight and some inspiration from councils of higher consciousness that are saying that on this Earth Day specifically, there's a great activation happening. And we're actually efforted to bring conscious awareness to that, so that people can actually participate in real time in being part of this activation. And so I wanted to mention that in hopes that also our guests today can contribute reflection or a song, even music, something to help grow and build the field that we want to manifest that day and support in this work. So just wanted to put that out there. Again, that's going to be April 22nd. And we're just really, everything else we're doing is like really around that. And the event is called Align with Earth. And Align in this case represents awareness and love inspires growth naturally. Awareness and love inspires growth naturally. And that's how we align. There's a lot about that, because now we've kind of gone from this sort of line path to where now there's a path going up like this. And it's kind of this process. Now the energy is oriented this way and not just this way. And so as we get in alignment, you know, on assignment, you know, we're gonna really do our work here. So it's a real blessing to have both of you. And I want to ask if you could stay a few minutes more. We can wrap it up. We wanted to share one final song, and then maybe have some closing remarks, if that's cool. How we looking?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And I don't know, B, did you have any comments you want to share as well as we kind of segue here?
No, I mean, I guess once we wrap up, I'd love to just hear what are the works that you all are doing right now, and where can we get to the works, you know, yeah.
All that good stuff. So we'll be right back in a few moments. So thank you everybody out there listening and tuning in today. We love and appreciate your attention. All right.
Woo! Vibes. Yeah. Serious tones. Yeah, decoding and recoding. Mr. Cobb. Word up. We sighted up. We vibes it up. Our tribe is tough, yeah, and we light it up. We showing up, you know it's us. We run the codes and tones. The sun is gold and shining from the soul. We hold it up, you know it's us. We spiral spiral up, hand on the Bible up, and the vibes we trust, and they vibes are sus. We on the cusp, you know it's us. Yeah, so pop the top, crank the bump, don't fake the funk. It's like the skunk, it's going up, so you know it's us. Now come chant with us. In love we trust. Trust. I consume dualistic thoughts as if they were food. I purify the mental electron at the North Pole. Maybe on the mothership, sin. Yeah. Let's go, let's go.
All right. So some Mystic Column vibes, Serious Codes vibes. That song is called Love Trust. I actually meant to play the video, but didn't do my due diligence ahead of time, and so you just saw the same static image. But you got the vibe. Got a great video, so I want to encourage people to check out our YouTube channel, Planet Restoration. Find us on YouTube. You can see the actual video for that track and some other music from the EP Serious Codes, The Great Conjunction. And just so people know, that Great Conjunction event that took place in December is, it's a part of what we're experiencing now. So that energy is wide open. So we can expect more of that for the times ahead. So with that said, I want to invite our guests to share a bit. I want to ask you, Phoenix, to share a bit about, as Bilal asked, about what you're doing currently and how people can find out more information. Oop, I think you're muted there.
I am. You know what? I turned it off so I could. Yeah, thank you. Shamanicbeauty.com is my website, and the shaman is becoming your own doctor, your own guru, your own healer of your own soul, which is the beauty part, because the soul is the path of your beauty, and helping people to get free out of this matrix. My work on there, you can see everything there. My Instagram is really big. I learned to use Instagram finally after these past 2 years, and it's amazing, at the official Phoenix Rising. I have my course right now, the Sacred Soul Cleanse, and it is leading to my next, which is Embody Divine Light. So we are all the things that we are doing, the Sacred Soul Cleanse. Even if you haven't joined the Sacred Soul Cleanse now. Everything's being recorded, all the Zooms. It's 4 sessions. And then we go into Embody Divine Light, which is where we bring into the physical all the things that we're learning, all the tools, like the practical tools, like how do we do this? What are we actually doing? So, and then, the private work, you can always contact me with the shamanic journeys and past life regressions. I don't even like to call them past anymore because it's all happening now, like soul retrieval. And I'm a hypnotherapist, and I teach Jikiden Reiki, the original Reiki from Japan, the one directly from Japan. Very, very beautiful. Jikiden means directly handed down. And it's all the ancient Shinto teachings, and it's Kuan Yin based, so it's very beautiful. So all the realms, but I can be found on shamanicbeauty.com and the official Phoenix Rising. And from there, I have a Linktree portal that leads you to all the other things. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Wow. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you
and
for
also
being
do
here
my
today.
Meditations, by the way. Yeah, online every Wednesday. I have meditations.
Excellent.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. It's so lovely having all of this conversation with so many beautiful men and who are awake and who are understanding the connection to the mother. That's something that we need right now so much. That's really the 5D. It's the balance of the masculine and the feminine, because that's the heart.
Beautiful.
That's the 5D.
Wow. Thank you. That's amazing. Yeah. Brother Manifest, how about yourself?
I just want to mention real quick, if possible.
Of course.
Like, as of late, I've found my music like going in that direction, in the direction of meditational music and guided meditations. So it's great to hear that connection, because I've been doing some mystic, like guided meditations as well. So, maybe one day we can connect on that. That'd be great.
Absolutely. That's my next project as well. That's where it's going. Absolutely. Yeah.
Brother Manifest, tell us what you're up to and how we can be in touch.
Okay, I want to be transparent. This galactic planetary shift was personal. It has been personal to me over the past year, in that I've experienced some need for healing, like I never have before in my life, this incarnation. And so I just want to remind people that whatever they're going through, it's not disconnected from everything else that they're going through, that the Earth is going through, that the galaxy is going through. So they have to see the commonality in everything, and so the healing modalities of energy work, Qigong, Tai Chi, mindfulness, various forms of meditation, breathing exercises. That's what I've been teaching for the past 15, 16 years for many agencies, national, state, local, federal rather, and corporations, colleges, universities, school systems. And so now it's been more of a shift to virtual, and I'm working with a lot of people. Just restarted classes on a Resurrection Sunday, yesterday, virtual classes. So I'm very much aligned with that, expanding and bringing more and more and more people in. So what we do is Tai Chi Qigong for personal and planetary healing and ascension. And so I give people, an understanding of why we do the exercises, how they relate to not just their personal development, their growth, their healing, and their ascension, but it transcends and touches each and every person, every being on the planet in all dimensions. And so looking forward to doing more of that. They can find out about that through my Instagram page. I'll be posting the flyer for that, electronic flyer for that, more information towards the end of this broadcast here. Of course, manifest.ra on Instagram. Also, I'm the founder of Heal Humanity, a social enterprise that promotes universal love, natural living, higher consciousness, and regenerative development. And so, of course, what we've been promoting for a long time, Mikuak and I, he's really assisted with that, is the universal love movement. And so when you take the mantra OM, O-M, or A-U-M, we actually bring forth ULM, Universal Love Movement, and OM, if you will. And so, of course, there was more on-site for 15 years in the DC area. But now it's time to take that to everyone on the planet. And so we know that sound heals, sound therapy, sound advice, sound healing. And so that OM actually resonating with the omnipotence of the multiverse, the mother and the father, if you will, goes beyond words. And so I'm looking forward to actually looking in the present right now, in the past, but in the present, to activating and elevating that in the next evolution, the next chapter of that. So, and earthing, I'm going to be leading an earthing opportunity, if you will, not a challenge, but an opportunity for everyone to earth as we move up to Earth Day. And so you'll find more about that on Planet Restoration, as well as Heal Humanity. You can find us on Facebook. We have thousands of people, and they're posting all the time and doing challenges and aligning and sharing their modalities. So I'm just honored to be here, and I'm looking forward to working with Phoenix. I tell you, I think we have more in common than we probably can even imagine. So, and actually,
I already imagined.
Actually, my birthday is the activation code for the number 3, 1212. So, when you talk about 333, the number 3 is been permeating throughout my being throughout this incarnation. So,
yeah,
1212.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you for bringing that in, and just thank you, Manifest. And for all of us, this has been the year for all of us of great healing. Like, being the transparent, it's like, we're holding these spaces, yet at the same time, we're feeling the collective in a really big way. Everything, like you said, is happening out there. It's happening here. And it's a lot. It's a lot. We have to keep aligning or realigning and going, okay, where are we at? What's going on? So I'm with you on that big time.
And whatever shows up, if we can become that alchemist or embody that alchemist, transmuting that from, this is painful. So what is it teaching?
Yep.
You know what I mean? What's going on here? What have I been holding on to that no longer serves me? And so, I'm tell you, I'm beyond happy to embrace that. I had back surgery many months ago, and I'm up walking. I do a slight jog now. And so I'm affirmative every day that my body is whole. My body is healthy.
Congratulations.
My temple is in perfect health. And so there's a regeneration process that's taking place. So when we talk about regenerating the earth, I'm doing that through myself by putting my feet on the earth. So
yes, you are. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you for being whole and healed.
Wow, remarkable. Sending waves of good energy to you for your restoration, brother, and for each of us, for all that we're involved with, and great success in the mission ahead, the mission at hand. Bilal, do you have any comments as we take this home?
Give thanks. I feel like it's a sacred meeting, as well as it's not just like a show. It's a sacred meeting as well, of us, our spirit guides, ancestors, and I give thanks that we were able to meet at this portal, at this in this space, in this energy, at this time. So thanks, I'm glad.
Thank you.
Hallelujah.
Thank you. Hallelujah. Ashe. Thank you, beautiful producer, for inviting me and telling me about the show.
Yeah, shout out to Ishel Esta on the boards back there with the reunion energy. She's typing in the chat that we're on this reunion tip. It's a fact. That's right.
She's amazing.
Absolutely. We couldn't do this without her. So, yeah, big up, and thank you all for showing up in such a beautiful, grand way at this time, and knowing that you will continue to do so. I'm super excited for what may be ahead for us to do together, collaboratively, creatively, and all of that. So,
and just to tie it in with the Align, you know, the Align event that's coming up, it's like all that we spoke of, it aligns, you know, in a message that basically says the power is within, and now is the time, you know, to pull from that, to unite and activate. So, you know, let's align and activate, basically.
Ashe. Couldn't be better said. Okay, all right.
Yay.
So with that, thank you all so much. Peace and blessings to you all, and all that you do, all who you are. We love you and look forward to what's next. All right, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Our pleasure. Peace and love.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
One love.